The following is an AZPM original production.
For AZPM, I'm Mark McLemore, and this is Arizona Spotlight. Coming up, reactions to the first loads of uranium ore that are being removed from the Pinyon Mine south of the Grand Canyon. Nature enthusiast Rebekah Doyle offers her perspective on Monsoon Magic. And the premiere of a new 10-minute drama about a young woodpecker who's plagued by headaches that keep him from living up to his hard-headed father's expectations. Those stories are next on Arizona Spotlight. In July, the first truckloads of uranium ore were shipped from the Pinyon Mine, which is less than 10 miles from the south rim of the Grand Canyon. The mine's owners say this process is crucial for a future free of fossil fuels, but conservationists and indigenous communities with cultural ties to the area have risen in protest. From KNAU, Ryan Heinches reports.
The bottom of the more than 1,400-foot mine shaft is reached by taking a 5-minute ride in a cage-like elevator. It's a dark, wet, and somewhat disorienting place, almost totally cut off from the rest of the world.
There's a piece down here where the phones don't ring, where the emails don't chime.
That's Matt Germanson, the assistant superintendent of the Pinyon Mine.
It's just you and the miners that you're working with accomplishing a goal.
That goal is digging out a geological formation called a breccia pipe that contains some of the highest grade uranium ore in the U.S. Today, this vast network of tunnels resembles any bustling work site.
We make holes in the ground.
This hole in particular, however, has the unique distinction of being the only active uranium mine within the Bajnoavjo Itakukvini ancestral footprints of the Grand Canyon National Monument. President Joe Biden designated it last summer, in part to prevent hundreds of other similar uranium mines from popping up.
To declare a national monument is certainly frustrating because it feels like it was done without the science backing it.
Germanson and the mine's owner, Energy Fuels, insist it's safe to operate and won't affect the Grand Canyon's groundwater or environment. They also say it's part of the global transition away from fossil fuels and is expected to produce 2.5 million pounds of processed uranium over 6 years. Curtis Moore is the company's senior vice president of marketing and corporate development.
If we're going to address climate change, nuclear has to be a part of that. There's just no way to get there without nuclear. Uranium powers nuclear.
Moore says Pinyon Plain is heavily regulated and that mining is far safer now than in the past. But environmentalists are emphatic that it simply doesn't belong in such a sensitive area less than 10 miles from the South Rim. Amber Raimondo is the energy director for the Grand Canyon Trust.
There are places in the world, the Grand Canyon region being one of them, where operations like uranium mining, which are inherently dangerous, just have no business occurring.
Raimondo and other conservationists worry that the mining operation could pollute the seeps and springs of the canyon and even affect the larger aquifer below.
Water systems beneath the mine are not clearly understood.
While hydrologists say there's no definitive evidence of water contamination from Pinyon Plain or other uranium mines, they caution that they don't yet have a complete picture of the canyon's geology. Indigenous communities say it's an unacceptable threat.
This aquifer feeds into our village.
Diana Sue White Dove Ukwala is a Havasupai council member and a traditional practitioner.
This is the Havasupai Creek. It comes up right at the beginning of our village, out of the ground. It's an amazing thing to see, but it's pure. It's pure, beautiful water.
She also says the mine puts Havasupai spirituality at risk. Her people have traditionally conducted ceremonies at Red Butte, a short distance from Pinyon Plain. But the radiation and uranium-laden dust prevent that.
For us, it is heartbreaking. We cry because we know we're in the front lines of this sickness or this contamination.
The Navajo Nation is also protesting the mine. President Boo Nygren has vowed to stop trucks of uranium ore that recently began crossing the reservation.
Our people are still dying today. They're suffering. There's so much generational trauma that uranium has brought to our people.
That trauma was caused by the more than 500 abandoned uranium mines on and near the Navajo Nation left over from the Cold War, which have been blamed for deaths, cancer, and other grave health problems. Navajo First Lady and former Arizona legislator Jasmine Blackwater Nygren organized a recent protest.
I think it's important to show solidarity in our opposition against the uranium transportation across the Navajo Nation.
She says 2 of her grandparents have died from radiation exposure, including a grandfather who was a former uranium miner. It's an all too common story on Navajo.
When it comes to uranium specifically, I think there's almost a moral obligation to say no and to make that message strong.
Energy Fuels is adamant that the ore has low levels of radiation and is safe to haul, but that hasn't stopped the groundswell of opposition to the mine. In Flagstaff, I'm Ryan Heinches.
There will be more reporting on the history of uranium mining and its impact on Arizona's indigenous community this September during Season 3 of the AZPM podcast, Tapped. The change in weather and attitudes that comes with the monsoon rain is dramatic and essential to life in the desert. The following essay is by author and listener Rebekah Doyle. She originally hails from Rhode Island, but she now possesses an overflowing appreciation for Sonoran beauty. Rebekah Doyle is an outside contributor to the show, and her opinions are her own.
Monsoon Magic. It is early August, and I am jogging through a trail of verdant, waist-high ferns on the slopes of Mount Lemmon. The monsoon rain started in late June, and so far, summer has been hotter and wetter than recent years. I enjoy checking social media after a storm to see who won the rain lottery this time around. Friends share photos of drenched cacti and flooded patios. Rain gauges with a half-inch in Midtown. The east side often has more rain, but not always. That's the magic of the monsoon. The ominous storm clouds that pass you by only to drench neighborhoods a few miles away. The call and response of thunder and lightning. Musical chairs played with friends as we retreat indoors from the pub patio, unable to ignore the drizzle-turned downpour. Dazzling sunsets painting mountains and clouds in probable shades of purple, pink, and orange. I welcome rain in the desert, however and whenever it falls. But this year, I have felt a tension between the celebration of life and the destructive forces brought by the monsoon. I have been caught out in powerful storms, relieved to emerge unscathed, but also chastened by my decisions, the hubris of hiking just a bit further down the trail, or heading home from work into a steely wall of clouds. Each time I venture out, I am mindful of my experience in last year's damaging microburst that knocked out power for days across the foothills. Driving north across the intersection of river and Swan, I was engulfed in an instant by wind and horizontal sheets of water and car-denting hail. Unwilling to stop as trees toppled in the median, I struggled on in diminishing visibility, up Swan to Sunrise, finally seeking refuge on higher ground in the river that was the Safeway parking lot. The monsoon teaches patience and humility. A couple of weeks ago, I had the notion to hike at Saguaro East at dawn. There were a handful of cars in the parking lot, and I wondered why I had not been doing this more often. Instead of sticking to the widest trail, my normal precaution during rattlesnake season, I chose a familiar loop along a narrower, longer trail, enjoying the morning chorus of curve-billed thrashers, verdins, cardinals, white-winged doves, and rufous-winged sparrows. Despite my focused attention, about halfway into the hike, I simultaneously heard and saw a rattlesnake rise suddenly, vertically, beside my right leg. Launching into the air, like the orca in Free Willy, I was yards away before I dare look back. The rattlesnake, still rattling furiously, had retracted into a defensive coil beside where I had stepped just moments before. Shaken by this encounter, I took a shortcut across an open wash, and regained the main trail, only to come upon another stout rattler spanning the entire path. Lacking my usual resolve to detour off trail, I waited as rattlesnake number 2 moved away of its own accord. Returning finally to my car, I pondered how many rattlesnakes one might see by flying a drone over the desert during this time of year, and how interesting it would be to follow a day in the life of this iconic desert dweller, about whom we continue to gain new insights, such as their complex social lives. Rattlesnakes not only control rodent populations and the diseases they might be harboring, but also disperse any undigested seeds in the digestive system of their prey, thus acting as important dispersers for many desert plants. Personally, I am grateful for the rattler's rattle. There's nothing like hiking in a Costa Rican rainforest, watchful for a silent and nearly invisible fer de lance in the trail and encountering an equally venomous eyelash viper on an eye-level branch to make one appreciate the rattlesnake's considerate warning. Nonetheless, after my recent close encounters, I'm taking a break from rattlesnake roulette and sticking to sidewalks and wide paths until the weather cools. Jogging through the ferns on Mount Lemon, I stopped to taste the sweet raspberries thriving off so much moisture. This year, I am especially eager for late August and early September when the Sky Islands erupt into bloom and 15 different hummingbird species refuel in area canyons and mountains along their migration. The sensory feast that is watching hummingbirds after a rainy summer is to me monsoon magic. Rufous hummingbirds crowding the slopes of Carr Peak to feed from hot pink and cobalt blue salvias, the electronic trills of the male broad-tailed hummingbirds as air vibrates through their tail feathers. The inner calm when surrounded by these tiny, magnificent birds darting through the fresh air. For Arizona Spotlight, this is Rebekah Doyle.
Tucsonan Rebekah Doyle has many published articles, stories, and essays that spring from her outdoor adventures. Her 5-word motto is write, bike, hike, paddle, bird. Monsoon recordings were provided by Alex Jimenez and Logan Phillips. You can find their art online at both alexclamation.com and dirtyverbs.com. Have you got 10 minutes? Then we've got a story for you. Next, a new episode of the radio play series, 10-Minute Dramas.
Concussion, the play, by Alejandro Canelos. Characters: Kyle, a young adult woodpecker; Serena, Kyle's mother; and Nat, Kyle's father. Setting: a woodpecker nest in the Sonoran Desert. Scene 1. Lights up. Serena and Nat are sitting cross-legged at center stage. Kyle enters flying from stage left. He tucks his wings and lands next to his parents, who stand up quickly.
Kyle, what are you doing here?
Nat frowns.
There's a reason woodpeckers don't come back.
So Kyle must have a reason to be here.
She turns to Kyle.
Don't you?
It's the headaches.
Still?
The answer is no. I have nowhere else to go.
What's wrong with your nest?
Kyle looks at his feet.
I don't have one.
What? Where have you been sleeping?
In a cholla cactus. It's secure mostly.
That's terrible.
She looks at Nat.
Isn't it?
The answer is no.
Serena turns back to Kyle.
And you can't make a nest. Are you sure?
Pecking gives me headaches. Terrible headaches. No.
Well, maybe we should talk about it.
This is why woodpeckers don't come back.
Stop. It would only be for a few days.
Nat and Serena stare at each other. Kyle waits. Nat finally turns to Kyle.
Son, give us some privacy, please.
Kyle nods, flies off, and exits. Nat and Serena watch him go.
We should never have made him leave at a month. He wasn't ready.
They're all ready. They have to be.
Except one. Out of all of them, Kyle was the only one who wasn't ready. He wasn't, and I knew he wasn't, and still I made him go.
We can't let him stay now. It would ruin him.
He's got no place to go. Where is he supposed to go?
He'll figure it out.
But the headaches! He must have a headache all the time. I can tell when I look at him, can't you?
There's a
Can you imagine what it would be like to have a headache all the time? Do you ever think about that?
All right. I'll help him get a nest made. It should only take a few days. If he does his part.
Serena puts a wing on Nat's shoulder.
Thank you. That's the right decision.
Nat steps to the edge of the nest and lets out a squawk. He goes back over to Serena. Kyle returns. As soon as he lands, he puts both wings up to his head.
Headache?
Kyle drops his wings to his sides.
No. Actually...
If your head hurts, you can tell us. Really, it's okay.
My head is fine for now. I was thinking, that's all. You can stay. But tomorrow, you and me are going to start making you a nest. Oh, sounds amazing, Dad! Thanks, dude!
Kyle inserts himself between his parents and sits down. Nat and Serena look at each other, shrug, and sit down on either side of Kyle, who's smiling. The stage goes dark. Scene 2. The stage is still dark. A thumping sound is heard. Lights come up. Nat and Kyle are standing together at the front of stage left. Nat is banging his head against the wall. Kyle is watching. Nat stops and turns to Kyle.
Your turn, son. All right.
Kyle and Nat switch places. Kyle bangs his head against the wall in the same spot. After 8 or 9 bangs, he stops.
What's wrong? Do you have a headache already? Well, yeah. I mean, no. It's not too bad. I can keep going.
Kyle keeps banging his head against the wall. After another 4 or 5 bangs, he stops.
I'm sorry, Dad. I just need a little break. But you've hardly pecked at all. I'm doing the best I can, dude. If you only knew how much it hurts. Move aside. I'll keep at it while you recover.
Nat takes Kyle's place and starts banging his head against the wall. Lights down. Scene 3. Lights up. Serena is sitting back at home looking very relaxed. Nat flies in from stage left, followed by Kyle. Serena hops up, pleased to see them.
Is it supper time already? I've got fresh grubs for you. Those juicy ones from the grass at the bottom of the canyon.
I'm not hungry.
Nat looks at Serena and frowns.
I'm not surprised. He didn't get much work in today. I did my best, but it was hard.
Was your head hurting again?
Well, go ahead. Tell her. I tried. I swear, I tried my best. But the pain...
He puts his wings up to his head.
How are you going to attract a mate if you can't even make it through one day of shared work?
That is not fair to Kyle. He is doing his best.
You're not supposed to care about him now. He's 2 years old. 2! If he can't make it on his own, there's nothing we can do.
He points at Kyle.
This is why woodpeckers don't come back.
Serena looks at Nat. Her face is calm.
Why don't you go somewhere and cool down? You've got a place, right?
Serena smiles. Nat grumbles and flies off, staring back over his shoulder. This is something woodpeckers do to show anger and frustration. He exits the stage. Serena goes over to Kyle and rubs his back.
If you keep pecking, you're going to get a concussion.
Dad says I have to do my part, as much as I can. It's only 2 more days.
Serena keeps rubbing his back.
You're going to get a concussion.
No, I'm not. I'll be okay. It hurts. A lot. But I can do it.
Serena stops rubbing and looks her son in the eye.
You can't do anything if you get a concussion.
Mom! I know that!
Lights down. Scene 4. Lights up. Kyle is banging his head against the same wall as before and in the same spot. Nat stands just behind, watching. Kyle stops. Nat waits. Kyle resumes banging. After a few moments, he stops. Again, Nat waits. Kyle is perfectly still, staring at the wall. Nat leans in close to Kyle's ear as if he's going to whisper. Woodpeckers love doing this.
Kyle!
Kyle hops straight up, startled. Nat steps back.
Hello?
Kyle looks around.
Hello?
He finally focuses on Nat.
Where am I? You're with me. We're making you a nest. You did okay yesterday. The bare minimum, at least. But I don't know what's happening now. What's my name? Your name? You're Kyle. I'm Nat, and you're Kyle, my son. You came back, just for a few days. I'm Nat. No, I'm Nat. You're Kyle. I'm Kyle? Seriously. Now, are you all right? I think so.
He points to himself.
I'm Kyle, and you're Nat. Your dad. Yeah, you're my dad. Except, I've never seen you before.
Nat comes up close to Kyle's face, staring into his eyes.
Don't blink.
Nat squints.
I don't see anything, but...
He backs up.
Something isn't right. You're right. I'm right. We're all right.
Nat touches the hole they've been working on.
We've got a long way to go. Let the cloud carry me. What? Let the cloud carry me.
Nat shakes his head. Kyle gives a large wave toward the audience.
In a world full of strangers, I roam. Kyle, follow me, okay? Can you fly? Can I fly? Can you fly? Can I fly? Never mind. Come on.
Nat takes off flying across the stage. Kyle follows, but immediately duck hooks and crashes, rolling to a stop. Nat lands beside him. Kyle sits up and raises a wing.
I can do it. Let me try again. Okay, it's not far.
Nat takes off again. This time, Kyle is able to fly after him. They exit stage right. Lights down. Scene 5. Lights up. Serena is sitting at home in the nest. Nat enters flying from stage left and lands next to Serena. Kyle comes after, crashing in front of his parents.
Kyle, sweetie, are you all right? Did you break anything?
No, I'm fine. I just need some rest.
He looks back and forth between Nat and Serena.
Can I rest a little? Then maybe I'll remember who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing.
Sure. Go lie down in back.
She points to the rear.
Thanks, Mom.
Kyle goes and lies down. Serena and Nat huddle at the front of the stage, speaking low enough that Kyle can't hear.
Did you make any progress on the nest?
No. We didn't get anything done today. There are still 2 full days of work left, if it's just me doing it.
Well, you can't expect him to help you.
Nat shakes his head.
No, he can't. He needs to rest.
You think he's going to be okay?
Yes, he will.
I don't think he should be on his own until he's well enough.
I understand your worry.
You know what I'm going to say next, right?
Yes. That if I finish the nest and he's not ready, we'll just end up losing it to squatters.
Mm-hmm. Better not finish it then.
Nat slouches.
You're right. I won't.
He looks around.
I guess I'll go get us some lunch.
Thank you.
She puts a wing up to his face.
I really love you.
I love you too.
Nat leaves the nest and flies off stage without looking back. Kyle lifts his head, then gets up and goes over to Serena.
Well, that went fantastic.
Did you really need to crash like that?
It worked, didn't it? He thinks I have a concussion.
You could have gotten injured.
No. And you should have heard me talking about, in a world full of strangers, I roam.
I'm sure.
The lights go down. The end.
Concussion, the play, was written and adapted for radio by Alejandro Canelos from his books The Neo-Tenant Queen and 10-Minute Dramas for the Stage. You just heard Matthew Staples as Kyle and as Nat, Kyle's father. Betsy Cruz Craig as Serena, Kyle's mother. Stage direction read by Alejandro Canelos. Directed by Betsy Cruz Craig. Original theme music composed by Alejandro Canelos and produced by Mike Levy at 1111 Studios. Thank you for listening to Arizona Spotlight. This show is a production of AZPM. The production engineer is Jim Blackwood. Production assistance by Alicia Vasquez. I'm producer and host Mark McLemore.
AZPM podcasts are made possible in part by donations from listeners like you. Learn more at support.azpm.org. Thank you.